Alright, guys, so this was some news that came to me from my good friend Jason, and I wanted to talk about it because we are in spooky season, and it just seems apt, and it could happen now that the writer's strike is tentatively over. I say tentatively because anything can happen. So, let's talk about that. So, it was announced today that Miramax is going to start shopping around for a new partner to work with, for a set of Halloween movies. Now, they haven't announced who it's going to be. They're just said they're shopping. That's really all it is that they're shopping for a new partner now that the Universal and Blumhouse deal is over. So this means a new continuity. This doesn't mean like this means like they're not going to continue Halloween Ends. Like I think we all knew, or at least a good majority of people should have known that this wasn't like Halloween Ends wasn't going to be the last Halloween movie. They'll either reboot it or set it in a new timeline or do a previous timeline. It's really like, it really is just kind of, yeah, they're just kind of looking for someone. I imagine it'll be a full new timeline for Halloween. That's where I think they'll go, but it doesn't really matter because this will not this will just be another timeline. I think honestly, if you want to think like Texas Chainsaw and Halloween have the most confusing movie timelines of any horror. Say what you want about say what you want about Hellraiser and others, but they were consecutive, even if they did suck. The only one that's even, like I said, the only one that's even more, annoying to follow is Texas Chainsaw. That's really the only other movie timeline that competes with how obnoxious trying to follow the continuity of the movies are. So, yeah, I think we can all agree that Halloween Ends was not good, or, critically not good, but it did sell well. And Halloween is a known property that some people will, that people will follow. Like, no matter what, the fans will follow Micheal no matter where he goes. Like, you can't like, sorry, I got tongue-tied there. Like it has always been said about Micheal, you can't kill the boogeyman. Not even at the box office. So, where could a new film thrive? Like, that's something we really have to look at, or we really have to think about when it comes to this movie, is like movie studio, is who would Miramax want to work with? Like, and specifically Malika Akkad, because remember, Malika Akkad is the real guy behind the films. He's the guy who has the franchise rights to it. It's not John Carpenter, it is Akkad, after his father Mustafa Akkad was tragically killed in a terrorist attack. So Malika Akkad is the guy who kind of he is part of Miramax, and he's usually the guy who gives, he's the lead producer, and he's the guy who's now gets to decide who gets the movie rights. So that leaves the question of what movie studio could be next to get those rights. It could be Warner Brothers. It could be another studio. But a lot of people have been saying this, and I would be very curious to see what they would do with it, but I don't think they would be willing to do it. I don't think they'd be willing to, be up for it, is A24. A lot of people, Jason included, said, how cool would it be to have A24 as the people behind a new Halloween movie? Now, A24 hasn't really done a IP-centric film. They are doing one kind of with Barney, but they've never really stuck into a horror IP. I don't know how a A24 Halloween movie would go. Probably something like the movie has an open ending, and you have to go to Film Explains, and then you'll pretend you always knew what the film was about. Don't tell me I'm wrong on that. The film, while I do think A24 would be an interesting choice, it's not my go-to. It's not real. A24 is not really my go-to. Would I be curious to see what they could do with it? Absolutely. Do I want to see would it be my first pick? Not really. But I would be, I don't care for them to work with Warner Brothers. Paramount, maybe. and maybe get the people, like, after the Scream movies are done, maybe we can, actually, I'll tell you who I'd like to see do a Halloween movie next, is the people who were behind the recent 2 Scream movies, as well as the upcoming Universal Monster movie the unknown Universal Monster movie from, what are their names? I know that studio has a name. Radio Silence, that's it. Yeah, Radio Silence, it would be my pick. They're not a movie studio, but they are, they are a company that I could totally see working with. If Paramount gets the film rights for a minute to do a new Halloween franchise, they could just get Radio Silence again and be like, do this. You get a new Halloween film. You do what you want with it. That's what I think would be really cool. I'd be very curious to see what Radio Silence does with that. Like I said, A24. I mean, I'd be interested, but it's not really on my radar. I'm not the biggest A24 guy. Sorry. Although I will say a lot of Robert Eggers stuff is really good. I do enjoy those. Yeah. So, yeah. You guys tell me in the comments below. Where do you think the Halloween franchise will go next? Just comment below. Let me know. Do you think it will go to Paramount? Do you think it should go to Warner Brothers or A24 or some other movie studio I haven't brought up yet? And who would you like to see behind this? And what time? And would you like to see them reset the timeline for a new Halloween film, or do you want them to pick and choose a new era of films? Do you want them to go back to the Thorn trilogy era and do a soft reboot of it and have Jamie still alive? Kind of, I would be down for that, because we still got our actress around, Anyway, so once again, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, the Multiverse.